Hello, and this is Jack's work assignment 3 of Unit 31, Exercise, Health and Lifestyle. In this I'm going to be talking through the answers to the questions I asked of my client and discussing what strengths they have, what's good about it, the areas for improvement, so what they should do better, what they could do better, and whether they can improve on certain stuff. I'm going to talk about strategies, so whether joining a walking club, if you're bored of walking, that might encourage you, that can be a strategy to keep yourself going. Also, physical activity recommendations and guidelines, so I'll be talking about what's good about this physical activity and what's not. So then, question 1. I asked the client, do you exercise regularly in a week? Yes, every other day was the answer. So for this, I said the strength for this is that it's a healthy amount. Once every 2 days, it won't let you build up weight. It'll burn off calories, and you'll be able to keep your own weight down while building a bit of muscle. So I kept that as a positive because it burns off fat, and you're not lying on the sofa. You're not lying in the house all day, every day. The problem with this, the area for improvement, is that one day you might do a lot of exercise, but then the next day you're just putting all the calories back on, so you're not feeling the full effect of the exercise you're doing. So I would suggest exercising more than once every other day. I would suggest doing maybe a leg day on the first day, and the arms day on the next, and the chest day on the next, and the core on the next. Just taking it in turns, so you're constantly burning off fat and you're constantly building muscle, but you're not getting tired out, because that can be one of the strengths of this, that you won't get tired out and you won't feel like you haven't got any energy. So, but the area for improvement is if you do a leg day, so you do 1 day of working on your legs and then the next day it's upper body, then that's like having that rest day, because you're not tiring your top half out by doing leg work, and you're not tiring out your legs doing upper body work. So this allows you to alternate between doing leg days and upper body days to be able to get the best effects for the whole of your body. It'll improve the muscle that you have. It'll improve muscle tone, so you'll appear to be slimmer and in better shape and have more muscle. Just another simple thing is that your body will get used to doing exercise. If you do 1 day of running and then the next day lie there eating cakes on your own bed or in your front room, then all you're doing is just totally taking away the effects of that, and your body won't get used to being healthy, won't get used to having exercise daily, and you'll start to feel tired on the days which you aren't doing exercise, because your body will get used to it and it'll say to itself, I don't need energy for this day, so I'm not going to bother producing energy. That's one of the areas for improvement. Another area for improvement is that the dieting. Now, if you diet while doing exercise, then you can happily burn off calories if you have a cheat meal, or if you have anything which is higher calorie or a bit fatty, then you can burn it off doing exercise. So you can plan it according to how much exercise you're doing. So if you do half an hour running, but this day you eat 2 cakes, you might do plus 5 minutes onto it just to burn that off. Whereas if you do it every other day, then if you have 2 cakes one day and 2 cakes the next day, it'll be adding 10 minutes onto it. So you're just adding more time onto the one training session to burn all the fat off. Whereas if you have 2, if you do 1 each day, whether it's lower body, upper body, core, arms, chest area, or legs, it won't make a difference, because you'll be burning off calories. Yes, you'll be building muscle in that specific area, but it allows you to carry on exercising without getting tired. So the strategy to do this, which I would use, is possibly look at joining a cycling club or a walking club or running club, because my client likes running. I'll suggest a running or walking club. This can be because you do your exercise every other day. That will be very healthy for you, and you'll feel the effects of it, and your body will get used to burning off calories and burning off fat, which is all good. But then every so often you can do one with a team, so you'll be learning coordination skills, communication skills, teamwork, team building, and you'll find it easier to bond with people and other stuff like that. But another thing is, if you're doing it every other day and once a month you do one long walk or one long jog with the group, that'll be as well as your every other day. So it just gets you out your comfort zone, keeps you experiencing the new, keeps your body guessing what you're going to do, makes it having to work harder, rather than just making it the same old easy walk day in, day out, or same old jog every other day. So the physical activity recommendations. So then for this, the guidelines is to do half an hour's walk every day. That's what they reckon. Half an hour's walk will burn off the fat which you've ate, it'll burn off the extra calories that you've had, and it'll keep your body fitter. Now, it'll be, if you do the half an hour walk a day, then it'll take down the chance of you getting stuff such as, it'll take down the chance of you getting heart problems, and it'll lower your chance of getting stuff like diabetes and heart attack, and it'll reduce tension and relax you more. This is because walking, it relieves stress, and stress can build up and produce stuff like heart attacks and other things, strokes. It can also reduce diabetes, because if you keep on taking in sugars into your body and your body's not ready for it, and it's not being able to burn it off, and it's not being able to burn off the calories you're having, you'll be putting weight on, and your blood sugars will start to go a bit all over the place, because your pancreas won't be able to produce the insulin that is needed. So just going for half an hour walk a day can prolong your life, the life of you doing your sport. It can increase the quality of life, because if you're overweight, got diabetes, and struggling to run around, struggling to walk, then you're going to be limited to stuff you do. You won't be able to go out with your friends, you won't be able to go out and do sport, you won't be able to enjoy any sports, and you'll be kind of spiralling down a path to worse things if you don't start doing that sort of exercise. Because with blood sugars raised and stress raised, then different side effects will come, and with side effects become more side effects, and this just keeps on going on. So just a simple half an hour walk a day could prolong your life, prolong your exercise that you want to do for as long as you can. Simple things like that. Second question, part A. If yes, then what type of exercise do you do, and why do you enjoy it? So, if you do a type of exercise, why do you enjoy it? So for this, my client replied, I do running because it's relaxing and does my body good. So the strengths of this is totally correct. It does relax you. Exercise produces endorphins. Endorphins relaxes the muscles, relaxes the body, relaxes the brain and the heart. Just a simple thing like this, again, can lower the chance of getting stuff like heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, long-term problems. Just simple thing which is worth doing. Another strength to this is that he says he enjoys it. It relaxes him, does his body good. If you enjoy running, then do it. Now, if he said he hadn't have enjoyed running, then I would have said, okay, why don't you try joining a running club? That will allow you to do the same exercise, but you might enjoy it more. You might make some friends there. You'll be able to use more set of skills. So you'll have to use communication, team building, bonding skills. You'll bring more people together, and you'll be working together, and that might actually make him enjoy it. But then again, running might not be for him. There's more than one sport, there's more than one exercise. That's why you might enjoy something like rowing. Now, rowing is a very, very fun sport, because you can do it on your own if you want, because it's single man rowing, or you can do it as a 2 if you've got a mate, or you can do it as a 4 if you've got more friends, or you can do it as an 8 if you've got more friends. Now, you can do this by doing it with your mates, or you can do it by joining a club once again. If you join a club, then you'll be able to build friendships that can last a lifetime. When I joined in football, a football club, I've still got friends from when I was 6 or 7. I can barely even remember them from back then, but it builds friends, and that's what can help their sport. Now, if they say, do you want to come and play football? If they said, do you want to come play football with us? Yes, I'll go and play with them because it's exercise and it's fun and I'm enjoying it. But if I just went to play football by myself, I would get there, I'd be bored, I'd kick it around for a bit, and then I'd think, this isn't fun, I'm not doing the exercise. So I wouldn't bother. So this is where it's all important to enjoy it. But thankfully, my client does enjoy it. So area for improvement, as I've said, maybe look at joining a permanent group. If you want to join a running group, join a running group. If it's not for you, if you don't make friends, if it's not exactly what you planned or not what you thought it'd be, then leave. It's totally up to you. It's just helpful to try and get you where you want to be. It will help increase the amount of exercise you do, because you'll think, oh, my friend's doing this amount of exercise, so I'll do it 5 minutes more. And then they'll think he's doing more, so I'll do a bit more. And together you can work up and you can achieve goals and set yourself targets to try and beat your friends and just try and keep your fitness up. But throughout all this, you won't really be thinking, oh, this is burning off this many calories or this is improving my fitness. You'll think, I'm enjoying it, so that's the key part to exercise really. If you enjoy it, then you'll do it. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it, obviously. An area for improvement, which I've briefly touched on, is that if you do exercise, which he does, and he does running, but he doesn't do it with a group, then his skills might not be as good as other people's. Bonding skills, team working skills, and communication skills. If you play in a team, so for example, the sports like rugby in a team, you're shouting to your person next to you, there's a man coming, or I'll have it, I'm open, then you're bonding. You don't realise it. All you're asking for is the ball or saying there's a man coming. But that little bit of communication skill can come in really handy, and it can be important for stuff like jobs, just everyday stuff. Just simple thing like if you're working with someone in an assignment at work or at college or at school and you don't speak to each other, how do you know what each other's going to do? So this is where you can build such easy skills and develop skills of communication, team bonding and stuff like that. So therefore I would suggest look at maybe joining a group, maybe looking at joining a running group because he says he enjoys running. Or if you wanted to, you could have a look at a sport. You can choose single sports, so you could choose a sport like tennis, for example, where you can play on your own for hours upon end against someone, but you haven't got to work on team building skills. But I would probably suggest look at joining a team one as well, so maybe team running, or a sport like football or rugby or cricket, because you're all talking, you're all getting along with each other. And you might not actually get on with the person, but through that sport you've got similarities, you'll enjoy it together, and it can make people who wouldn't get on everyday life, they would get on in that sport. So it's much easier, and you can build skills which you wouldn't have even thought of. So physical activity guidelines and recommendations. My recommendation would be to keep up the running. Keep doing what you're doing every other day, doing running exercise, but maybe look at joining a group. Think of what you're good at or what sport you might enjoy. For example, he might really love something like golf. Now you can play that on your own, or you can go down there with friends. It's totally up to him, but I would find something. It doesn't have to be upper body sport and a lower body sport, but if you can even it out, that's great. But it's all about what he enjoys and what will make him want to do the exercise. 2B, question 2, part B. If no, you don't do sport and don't enjoy it, then why? Now, thankfully, he said that he does running because it's relaxing and good for the body, and he does enjoy it. So this question is irrelevant to him, really. But if he said he didn't do sport, or if he didn't like sport, or if he didn't enjoy it, or didn't have time, then I would ask him why, and I would also go through different sports groups which you might like, because running's got sports groups which you might like, and they're always different to doing it on your own. For example, if you're playing a game, you think, this is okay, and then all your friends play the game with you, you're having fun. You might not be concentrating on the game, you might be having fun between you and another friend, but you're doing it while playing a game, while doing exercise, and keep on going. Because another reason why you might not enjoy it is because you might be lonely. Now this is where getting friends, team building, all of that comes back into play, as I've already suggested. So then, a strategy to increase physical activity levels. If he'd said no, then I would have said, right then, the strategy is you need to find a sport or exercise, or maybe even just going to the gym, which you enjoy, and then try and stick with that and try and build on that. Build up weight, build up the length of how far you're running each day, but make sure it's something that you enjoy, because you're not going to do work if you don't enjoy it. You're not going to stay in a job unless you enjoy it. So why would it be any different with exercise? The only difference between exercise and work is that you don't get paid for exercise. So you're not going to bother doing it if you don't enjoy it. At least with work you get paid if you don't enjoy it. But very few people stay in a job they don't enjoy. So then I would suggest joining a walking group or something like that if you didn't enjoy it. Third question asked him, in an average week, how often do you do exercise? He says roughly about 3 times to 4 times a week. He says every other day really. It doesn't necessarily mean he does it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. He doesn't do it like that. He might do Monday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not Saturday, Sunday. He doesn't really keep a log of it, he just does it when he feels like it. The benefit of that is that you do it when you feel like it, you do it when you're enjoying it. Now that would be good, because you all know doing too much of something, you'll stop enjoying it. If you like driving a car, but then you do that for the job of your whole life, you'll stop liking it. You'll stop finding enjoyment. So what he's simply saying is, I'm not going to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow, because I'll enjoy it tomorrow. Whereas if I do it today, I won't. No, fair enough, I think that's a great idea. Do it when you enjoy it. But the weakness of this, and where his plan can be improved, is where his weaknesses and where his plan can be improved, is saying, okay, I'm going to set these days to do it. So I've got to do these 3 days a week, or I've got to do these 4 days a week. And then he'll do those, and if he feels like doing any more, then he can build on it. The problem is with saying I'll do it every other day, is you might do it the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and think, I've done 3 days for this week, that's near enough half, so I won't bother again. So you sit there for 4 days doing nothing. That totally wipes out the effects of what you've just done. You've done the exercise to build up and become fit and everything. So you need to stick with it. Whereas making a solid plan, saying Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, then that's solid. You won't avoid those. But on Tuesday, which you've got nothing planned, if you do feel like going for a run, go for the run. If you do feel like going down to the gym, go to the gym. Do it for enjoyment rather than having to. You might set 3 days a week, even if you don't want to do it, you can do those, and then do the rest when you like, or do 2 days a week set, and do the rest when you like. But the strength of this is that you are enjoying it. You're not forcing yourself to do it. But however, that can also be a weakness. If you're very weak-minded, for example, if you go, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow you go, no, I'm lying in bed, I'm nice and comfy, I'll do it the next day. That's when you're putting the work off, that's when you're putting the exercise off, and you're not actually catching up with what you want to be doing. You slowly fall further behind, and you don't realise until you're further behind than where you thought. So then the strategy of thinking about this is, I've said, plan, even if it's only 2 days a week, set 2 certain days that you're going to do exercise. Whether it is running, whether it's cycling, gym, a different sport, a team sport, a running group or something, I would set a plan to do at least 2 days every week. Determination, like set the days and make sure you do them. Don't cheat yourself, because that's only cheating yourself and your body, and it's not affecting anybody else, and nobody else minds whether you do exercise or not. But it's your body, your health. When you've got things like reducing heart diseases, major illnesses and diabetes, you're all setting those back by years by deciding to do exercise. You're pushing them back. You're saying, no, not yet. So that can allow you to live a longer life, live a more successful and better quality life because you're allowed to do what you want if you're fit and you're up to shape. So my strategy would be put 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday for example, say I'm going to do exercise for half an hour every single day on these 2 days. And then on Monday, I want to go for a run, go for the run then. On Sunday, I fancy going and playing some football, go and play football then, because you've set 2 days, definite work, so that you're definitely going to be working hard, you're definitely going to do half an hour exercise, but then you can do the rest when you want. But if you find it hard and you say, oh, but I never really want to do it, so if you did have the problem of not feeling motivated to do it and not wanting to do it, then you'd have to set yourself more and set yourself goals and achievements to try and push yourself forward. Once again, if you're still not bothered about setting the goals or getting stronger or running faster, then I would suggest something that we used to do when we was a child. When I played football, if I scored a goal, I would get paid a £5 note. Now, did this tell me to work hard? No, I didn't think it did. All I thought it meant was score a goal and I get a £5 note. But you didn't realise that I sprinted round after the ball more than anybody else because I wanted to get the ball and score. Everybody else thought, wow, he's working hard, wow, he's fit. But all it was me trying to get a £5 note. My dad stood up beside there and watched me sprint around for 90 minutes, for example. And I would come off, I'd be absolutely shattered, and I might not even score. But then the next week I would do exactly the same again, 90 minutes of hard running, and if I did score, I'd get the £5 note. If I didn't score, I'll do it again. So it's kind of almost bribery to yourself, but you don't realise. So, for example, I'm going to go to the gym twice a week. If you go to the gym twice a week, you might think, oh, I'll grab that drink I like, or I'll stop off and get a small cheeseburger or something. You can set yourself cheat meals sort of thing. So if you're eating healthy, salads, fish, rice, pasta, another meat and vegetables, fruit, if you set yourself that, then you can go on and do then you can go on and say, if I do 4 sessions of exercise, I'll get a cheeseburger. You're going to work hard to get the cheeseburger, but you're not realising that you're doing bribery to yourself. You're just working wanting the cheeseburger. So that would be the strategy of what I would suggest. Physical activity and recommendation. To say that 30 minutes a day of walking is required. So that roughly translates to about 10 minutes of jogging a day. Now, if you do half an hour jogging every other day, that's plenty of exercise to keep yourself at the minimal fitness level, really. You're not pushing yourself, you're not building that much muscle, you're building slight amounts, but you're burning off fat, but then you're putting it back on when you're not exercising. So I would recommend really that you do more than 3 sessions a week, debatably more than 4 sessions a week. Just change it around between upper body, lower body, arms, chest, core, and all the different parts of the body. Just change it about on the different days so that you can feel the effects throughout your body without getting tired in all of your body sort of thing. Because if you're all out tired all over your body, you'll go, oh, I'm not going to the gym, my arms are aching, my legs are hurting, my chest's hurting. Whereas if it was just, oh, my legs are tired, you're right, I can still lift a weight with my arms, I'm fine, I'll go and do it. So this is one of the persuasion points really. So that would be my recommendation. The guidelines is half an hour walking a day, and 10 minutes running a day, if not walking. So I'd suggest that you do this walking, because walking in the spare day, even if it's just 10 minutes walking, it's under what they suggest, but you're keeping your body ticking over. When rugby players are now, some of my friends are rugby players, they'll play rugby one day and they'll go all out and they'll be shattered the next day, but they'll still go for the jog. I said, why are you doing that? Just rest, let your body heal. He said, well, if I keep my body ticking over, then by the time I get energy, I'm ready to go again, rather than resting. And then when you come back to do it, you haven't ran for the last few days. So it keeps your body ticking over. That's the expression which I've always heard. Probably not the technical expression, but yeah, that's what I'd suggest. So I then asked him about the warm-up and stretch. I said, do you warm up, stretch and cool down before and after exercise? He only answered saying he warmed up and stretched. Now, this doesn't surprise me because quite a few people do warm up and stretch, and then they think that's it, they can do all the rest of the exercise and then go home. But they don't actually realise that cool downs are very important. They reckon basically the strength of warm up, which it does, is to get your the pulse raise, to get your blood flowing around your body, get yourself pumped up, get your blood to your muscles, because once your blood starts flowing around your body, getting to the muscles and coming back up, then that's all that you need. It keeps on coming back up. Your blood from your legs keeps on coming back up quicker, because around the heart and gets pumped around quicker. That means that you'll get more oxygen supplied through the blood cells as they go down to different muscles. What does this mean? It means you can run for longer. If you try doing a sprint, your blood isn't going to get round your body fast enough, giving you enough oxygen. So eventually you'll cramp, or you'll get stitched, or you'll just drop to the floor, not being able to keep running, or you'll slow. Some people start sprinting and then they think, oh, I'm still sprinting 2 minutes later, and then they realise that, to be honest, they're not even jogging pace, they're slower. So this is where warm-up is very important. It's used in different sports for, as well as a pulse raiser and immobiliser and all that. It can actually get you used to the football or get you used to the rugby ball. So if you do a couple of minutes of running round cones and then you go and kick the ball round with your team, keep ball, passing, then that'll be moving all your body parts and raising your blood pulse and just supplying oxygen around your body. You don't realise that is actually that's an immobiliser as well. So therefore, that's the strength of what he does. He warms up, which he knows about. Now, quite a few people don't know about the cool down, to be honest, because it isn't as modern, it isn't as old a thing. Not everybody goes, yeah, warm up, stretch, and cool down. A lot of people say warm up, stretch, play football, and then go, alright, then see you next week and walk home, or do the work in the gym, or do the run, and then just sit down and have a drink. This isn't good, but I'll explain that in a minute why. Another strength which he has, he stretches. Now, due to running, he knows how important stretching is. This is good because stretching, it can strengthen your muscles, it can lengthen your muscles, it can allow you to run further. Because if you've got tight muscles, then you won't be able to stride as far, you won't be able to stride as powerful, you won't have the force in your muscles as you would otherwise. The good thing about stretching is that you lengthen your muscles and you loosen your muscles, so it's ready to loosen and contract quicker. So it's not stiff and it doesn't slow down. It allows you to move them quicker, and it's much more. It's easier to do stretching. It's easier to run after doing stretching because all your muscles are looser and they're all warmed up, and you haven't got any knots or anything in your muscle. Another good part of stretching is basically when you do this, when you do stretch. I forgot what I was going to say. Hang on. When you do stretch, basically when you do stretch, you do actually feel if you've got any knocks. For example, you're about to do half an hour running, but you do a 2-minute warm up. You think you do a 5-minute warm up, and you think, that running, my right calf felt a little bit tight. Well, you do a stretch. Well, then you can stretch it and see whether it when you do a stretch, if it struggles to stretch or hurts, or you can't even stretch it. It's too tight. Then you won't be able to do the exercise. But if you do have a little knot or something, you do have something tight in your muscle, then stretching can loosen it for you to be able to do the exercise. Warm-ups are also good because if you do running and you feel something, then you can take it easy. You might say, I've just done a warm-up. I was going to do half an hour running, but I've got cramp in my right leg. So instead, now I can do a body session. I can do an upper body session with arms, chest, core and everything. But whereas if you hadn't done a warm-up, you would have started running, you thought, my right leg's a bit funny. And you wouldn't have realised, and then by the time that you would have actually done your exercise, you wouldn't have done it to the correct quality or the quantity or the distance that you wanted. and it's much more important that you do good quality than quantity. For example, you could do half an hour walking, but if you do 20 minutes good strong walking, powering through each stride, then that's much better. So going on to cool downs are important because you do all the running, and then instead of saying alright, goodbye, see you later, you're gonna slowly build your pace down, lowering your pulse, so that all of a sudden your heart doesn't have to go from a high beat, like 180 beat heart rate per minute, to all the way down to 120, because that won't happen. It'll keep your blood flowing around your body, and all the blood will just be going round, and oxygen will be useless, really. So when you start slowing it down, so once you've done your exercise, you'll start at a medium pace jog and slow it down, then start slowly walking, doing immobilising stretches like swinging your leg or swinging your arms. This basically alerts your heart, saying you don't need to be going as fast as you are. So we'll lower the blood pulse rate so that you can catch your breath. Your muscles will start getting the oxygen which you need, and not any more than they need, because you won't be putting stress on the heart. So then, moving on to the strategies of what I'd suggest, and ways to increase physical activity levels. Way to increase is do a cool down. You'll realise if you just do warm up, stretch, do half an hour run, then get in your car and go home, you'll realise by the time you get home you're stiff. Whereas a cool down, it lowers your pulse rate, settles your muscles back down, relaxes them all. And the key thing about it is that your cool down, while doing all that, it's basically an immobiliser. So instead of a mobiliser, sorry, I said the wrong word. So instead of you just stopping and getting in the car and sitting there, you're testing all your joints, you're moving them all. You'll be doing it slower than what is probably exercise. So you're doing it probably walk pace as you eventually get to it. So you'll be moving all your joints and all your muscles, and just preventing them from getting stiff. So physical activity recommendations and guidelines. So then, stretching. About stretching, it's proved that it improves your flexibility. This was proved back in 1962 that 15 or 30 seconds of just standing there stretching certain muscles will actually improve flexibility. For example, I never used to stretch my back, and now my back isn't the best, and I'm not the most flexible. I can pull my back off simple exercises, whereas stretching is proved to be more good for flexibility. So if your hamstrings keep on feeling like they're pulling or keep on feeling tight, then by stretching, flexibility will come, and you'll be able to move your leg further back than you were before. So then it also does prevent injuries. They reckon that at least 15 minutes of warming up and stretching will reduce the amount of injuries. They tested this back in the 1990s and 1960s and found that flexibility and performance, that's particularly in speed and strength. So those were improved. So the speed was faster. If you did a warm-up, they tested this with students, and they also tested it with adults, that if you stretch and warm up and do everything properly and professionally before the exercise, then you'll be able to run faster, and you'll have better strength, and you'll be more flexible. So having stronger muscles, that leads to reducing injuries. So then, these things which I've just said, there've been over 360 odd studies testing whether stretching improved flexibility and strength and speed, and after that long, they agreed that it did slightly improve the flexibility and the strength and the speed, but over years and years of stretching and everything, it will improve for longer. That would be that'd be a recommendation that I'd say. Ways to increase physical activity for this, if he's done warm up and stretch, I'd just say do a cool down as well. It'll probably make sure that your muscles are less stiff, so you'll be able to do exercise at a sooner date. Whereas that is very important if you want to keep on doing exercise. And cool down. For cool down, it's very important that you do this, as if you feel stiff in the morning, then there's no way to get past it because you're all stiff, and the only way to get past it is by running. But you're too stiff to do the exercise to relax your muscles. Whereas just doing up to 5 minutes of cool downs and just stretching and mobilizers, just stretching joints and muscles, they reckon this is very important in making sure that you're not tight, you haven't got tight muscles, or you haven't got exhausted muscles, you're not tired, and that you don't have cramp. They reckon up to 80% less likely to have cramp after doing exercise if you do a cool down and if you mobilise, and you're going to be less stiff, which I find important because it allows you to do exercise quicker the next day. Are you satisfied with your body's general fitness levels? He replied, yes, I am pleased with my fitness levels. So the strength of this is that he is happy with himself, he's happy with his fitness levels and with his body. This shows that you can have more confidence, because an area for improvement, if he wasn't happy, is if you're not happy with your fitness levels, you're not happy with your body, and you might want to lose weight and you might want to do more exercise. This can all have a knock on your confidence and your self-image. So if you're confident and you're glowing and you're bouncing off the walls and you're all happy, your friends are going to be like, wow, look at him, he's all happy and everything. He's going to be really impressed with himself, and it'll feel as if his body is better than it is. Whereas if you're the opposite way around, you think, oh, my body's not very good, I need to lose weight, I'm a little bit over the weight of what I should be, I'm not very good at exercise or whatever, then that's putting yourself down and you're negative. And when people are on about your body, you might feel like you're being judged or something like that. And self-image and confidence is really, really important. So, as he said, he's pleased with his fitness levels. This means that he's confident and that he can be proud of his body, if you know what I mean. Whereas if you're not happy with fitness levels and you wish you had this, you wish you had a six-pack, you wish you had more muscle, you wish you was taller, you wish you could run for longer, you had better fitness levels, all of this is just putting yourself down. You're just basically saying, I'm not what I want to be, so I'm not good enough. And that can come across in anything. That can come across in sport, or it can come across in work, for example. If you're thinking, my body's not very good, I'm not very fit, then you'll be thinking, well, I better avoid him because he might judge me, I won't talk about this because I might be judged. And it's just a road, once again, it's a spiral down into deeper things, like saying my body isn't good enough, I don't feel very good. And this can lead to depression and all sorts of things. Strategies then, ways to increase fitness levels. So I would say, if he's pleased with his fitness levels, good. Just add something else on. That's what I would always keep on doing. If you're happy with your fitness levels and you're happy with the exercise you're doing, just add something else on. Even if it's in your day off, a 5-minute walk. You know what I mean? That burns some calories, that gets all your muscles moving, your joints loosened up, and just prevent yourself from getting stiff. As I mentioned before, the saying, keep your body ticking over, keep it prepared for your next exercise. If you're pleased with your fitness levels, that's great. If you want to do more, that's even better. Just keep doing more. You can never really do enough exercise. Some people might say you can because you get tired. But yeah, if you do one day of leg exercises, and the next day arms, the next day chest, the next day core, then on the 5th day, your legs are going to be back fully fit again. So that you can never really do enough exercise. So you can always keep on doing more. That's with being sensible, because you could say, no, you can do too much, and then go and do a 5-hour run and collapse of heat exhaustion. Now it's being smart. It's not saying you can never stop running because you can't do enough exercise. You can always do more. It's saying there's no reason to not do exercise. You do all the exercise you can. Whether you do an hour running, whether you do 2 hours running, whether you do 10 minutes running, half an hour running, you can always do that tiny bit more. But it's whether you're happy with it. What it matters is whether you're happy, whether you're impressed or whatnot. So the recommendations. This is where I would suggest making sure that you are happy. This is where if you are happy, then you'll feel more confident, and that will lead you to being more outgoing. Whereas if you weren't as confident, then you can stay inside more, and you might, if you're not feeling as confident about your body, then will you want to go out? Will you want to go with your mates? Will you want to go and play that sport? It's all about your confidence and how you see yourself. Because you might look at someone and think, I would like to have their body. I would like to have their fitness levels or whatever. But then you've got to work for that. It's very important that you do feel confident about your body. As I said, doesn't only affect you in physical activity. So then this can lead to stuff like anxiety, or it can lead to stuff like self-obsession. So you can be anxious about what people are going to say. If you've got to say, even just not even bad body, if it's a scar, and you think, what are people going to say? They're going to judge me. That can lead to anxiety, and it can lead to self-obsessed. So you might be thinking, those people over there, are they talking about me? Like that's the sort of things that this can lead to. It can lead to something as serious as body dysmorphic disorder. This is where basically it's kind of an anxiety disorder, because of how they view their own body or how they look, and they spend a lot of time worrying about it. So if you're not happy, you will automatically worry about it. It might not go this serious, but then again it could. The side effects of this, so it could be affected. It reckons every 1 in 100 people in the UK. So in all the people you know in your area, 1 in 100 could be affected with it, or it could be less, could be more. You don't always have to admit to it. They reckon that they will be affected by body dysmorphic disorder. Therefore, this could lead to things like social phobia. So they don't want to go out, they don't want to go and meet new people, they can get scared of certain stuff. They can develop OCD, which is an obsessive compulsive disorder. They can just have a generalised anxiety disorder, so it can lead to them just feeling anxious about certain stuff which aren't even affected with the body. But more commonly, it leads to stuff like eating disorders, anorexia, or bulimia. This is because they don't feel good about the body, so they try and force their body to become what they want it. Now, whereas if they'd exercise or if they'd cut down on what they're eating or eat healthier or certain stuff, then they'd be able to get what they want. But sometimes they go to such extremes of depression, self-harm, and there's even been cases of suicide because this is so serious. But one of the things, well, a few of the things, eating disorder, anorexia and bulimia, they just feel like, well, I need to be lighter, so they start refusing to eat, or they might throw up the food after they've eaten it. Or eating disorder, they might be so upset or obsessed or stuff that they start eating and they're not even noticing how much they're eating, and they just keep eating. And that's how many people put so much weight on. Stuff like this can be so easy to come by. It can be to do with your body, or it could just be like you're born thinking about that sort of stuff. So different people are affected by it different ways. Anyway, I ask the next question. Compared to people around you, how physically active do you think you are? I said, is he about the same, more active or less active? He said more active. This is good because he obviously knows he's looking at what he said. I agree that he's more active, and knowing the average exercise and what he's doing, he knows that he's doing more. And the good thing is that he keeps on doing the more exercise and keeping more active than than the average, because the average is saying, yeah, this is what you should do, this is okay, it's not that bad. Below average, so less active than most people, would be bad. This is where you can get obese, develop stuff like diabetes, and put on weight, and have a less quality of life if you go to extremes where you're struggling to walk or struggling to run. But the strength of this is that he knows he's doing more exercise than most people, yet he's happy to do it and he wants to keep on doing it. This could be due to he wants to stay fit, or he wants to stay above the average, or he wants to stay fitter than his mates. Whatever he's using as motivation is clearly working, because he could say, oh, I'm more active, I don't need to do as much as I am. But the good thing is that he wants to do more and happy to do it. That's all the strengths. Areas for improvement. I can't suggest any areas for improvement. The only area for improvement is that you learn about cool downs and certain stuff which I've already mentioned, and that you build on the exercise which you're doing and develop, whether it's going up in weight or going up in distance or going up in speed, depending on what you're doing. So strategies to increase physical activity levels, once again, that's all you can really do. You're more active than most people, my client is, so all he can do is simply keep to what he's doing, whether he stays the same or whether he says, you know what, I'm on 16 kg now, I'll try and do 17 kg, I'll try and do 18 kg. I'm doing a 10-minute run in this time, I'll take 10 seconds off the time, let's see if I can do it. Like, certain things like that, that's the only strategies or way to improve. So this is where he views himself as this is where he sees himself as more active than other people, and this can be good. So then they reckon that aerobic activity, they reckon that you should get at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity, or 75 minutes a week of vigorous aerobic activity. So he obviously views that he does over that amount, which is obviously good and shows that he's above average. So next question. I'm happy with how much I exercise in one week, but I can always do more. I said, how much... sorry, I'll repeat that again. I asked the question, do you do as much exercise as you would like? He said, I'm happy with how much exercise in 1 week I can do, but I can always do more. Strengths. He's happy with how much exercise he has, he's happy with his body. This shows that he'll be confident and not develop certain disorders where you're struggling to come to terms with stuff because you're struggling with your body and you're not how you want, and you start becoming self-obsessed. So this is good that he isn't, and he's happy with that. His second strength, he's happy with how much exercise he's doing in a week. He's doing the right amount of exercise. He's doing more exercise than average human in the UK, average adult in the UK, which means he's doing well above 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity, or over 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity. So if you split that out, then that's 30 minutes of walking a day you could do, or it could be 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day of strong running. With this, the third strength is he's always happy. He can always do more. He doesn't say, but I'll do more if you want me to, or he doesn't say, I don't want to do more. He's happy to do more. This shows that he's happy with what he's doing, and that means they quality which he's working at will be good, and he'll keep on pushing himself, and he's happy to set himself new goals and new targets and new exercises. Area for improvement. You might think the area for improvement, you could look at it this way, that if he's happy with how much he's doing, you want him to not be happy, you want him to be able to want to do a little bit more. But at the same time, you want him to be happy with his body and his effects that he's having, of the exercise he's doing, which he is doing all those. Some physical activity recommendations and guidelines, benefits for physical activity. I'd say recommendation is make sure that you do the correct, like the average amount of exercise for average adults, and then in between the days where you're having rest days, just do a light walk. That really is healthy. That's what they're suggesting, that you do the walk each day, or you do a run each day, or sprint. Once I suggest sprint, I'd suggest jog or walk, because a sprint you'll just burn yourself out easy and not burn as much off. But just go and do a walk in the middle of the day when you're not doing anything, or jog, or cycling machine or rowing machine. Just find a way to exercise. It can be as light as anything, it can be for as short as anything, but just over 5 minutes of exercise, over 10 minutes of exercise would really benefit the body. That's exercise done, and the next one will be diet.